What's up, everybody? Welcome into another episode of Profit Picks. If you are new, we do our best. We do always start the show by being transparent. Um, no shows on the weekend, so that's where it gets tricky. But yesterday, I did go 5-3 overall. Saturday, I went 1-1, but my top play won. So it's been a profitable couple of days since we last spoke. Things have been going well in general, so I'm gonna try to keep it going here. Vino, it's good to be back with you. How you doing here today?
We are good today, Skee. Things went well this weekend for me too. Saturday and Sunday were big days. Yesterday, 5% on the Sunday night game, Dallas, Minnesota over the total. Fairly easy. Made me sweat it a little bit with a couple of Aubrey missed field goals, which he never does, but they got there. College basketball has been very, very good. 9-2 last 11. And NFL still the same, number one at WagerTalk. So, like I said, everything's been good. Nothing to complain about over here.
All right, well, let's get to it. We have 5 NBA games. We have one NFL game. So we'll start with NBA like we usually do. That means rotation order for that is 523, 524. Pistons and Celtics opened up -1.5 for Boston. Still sitting right there. Total open 229.5. Not a whole lot of movement on that. As far as the injury report, I don't see anybody on there for Detroit. For Boston, Pritchard. Pritchard looks like he's questionable tonight. This Boston team has been playing. I mean, first of all, I think every team we're going to talk about today has rest. So I don't even think we have to get into that. But I feel like the Celtics have been playing really well. A lot of what they do is, shooting a lot of threes and shooting the basketball well. And I don't know. I just keep thinking that regression is coming for them. And if it was to come, it'll be versus a Pistons team who, I mean, on the season, they're the third best defensive rated team. Looking at last 5 games, they're still top 10. I, I think I think I would prefer the Pistons here. The better defense. I think they can still consistently score. Like they're really good defending the above the break three, and that's all Boston wants to shoot. So I just feel like I trust them a little bit more as well to score on Boston. So lean Pistons here for me, Vino. How do you view it?
Yeah, you may have it. I mean, I don't know that I want to make a full revenge angle out of this, but they've played twice. Detroit won the first time by 6. Boston did win the most recent one by 3, and it's not that far removed. November 26th, only 3 weeks ago. So possibly Boston, or excuse me, Detroit still has that on their mind. Just to point out some numbers where Boston is concerned, like you say, you would think that maybe some regression is due. 8-1 straight up, 7-2 against the spread. These are all last 9 games, and their team total 8-1 to the over in their last 9 games. So what wasn't working for them early in the year was they just weren't shooting well at all. We commented on it a few times, and now they've started to shoot the basketball well. Pritchard would be a big deal here, I think, if he doesn't go. They rely on him to take a pretty good amount of shots each and every game, especially from 3-point range. So if he can't go, it might be a little different for them. I love this quote out of Jalen Duren, and I'm going to paraphrase rather than read the whole thing to you, but basically, he said, we have no bench unit. The first 10 guys on our team are all starters. It's the way they feel about their team. Doesn't mean it's necessarily true, but I like when teams are together units like that. So for me, Detroit was in a bit of a tailspin. They seem to have come out of it. That they smashed somebody on Friday night, Ski. The last time we did a show, I forget who it was, but they absolutely, I think they scored like 140 against somebody to show that maybe they're turning a
Hawks.
bit of a, was it the Hawks? Yeah.
Yeah.
It shows maybe they're turning a little bit of a corner out of their slide. So I would probably prefer the Pistons here. For Boston, like I say, check the Pritchard status. To me, that would be a big deal and probably point me even further in the Detroit direction.
All right. So looking towards the Pistons on that one. Let's keep going. We have Raptors and Heat. Opened up 6, sits at 6. Total has come down though from 237.5 as low as 234.5. And when we look at the injury report, still no RJ Barrett for Toronto. We know that definitely hurts the offense. Defense gets a little bit better. Battle is probable. For Miami, Jonas is probable. Larson's out, and they still got him on there. Rozier out. Both of these teams have been in a downward spiral. I mean, the Raptors, they've covered one game since RJ Barrett has been out. One, Rob Veno. That was the first one. They failed to cover 8 in a row. Now you have a Miami Heat team who I think has lost 4 in a row. Favored. It's an uncomfortable situation. I can tell you that I absolutely don't want Toronto, but at the same time, Heat -6. That just doesn't seem like their role to me. How about this? I said it hurts their offense, helps their defense for Toronto. Heat games have been going under lately. I think that this could be another sneaky under. I mean, the market did move it down 237.5. There's still some, actually, no, 234.5 is pretty much what it is now. I mean, I think it moved in the right direction. How do you feel about it,
Yeah, I mean, just one look at the Miami side tells you that what they were doing well, they're not doing well anymore, and that's scoring points. 6 of the last 8, they've scored 111 or less. Puts their team total at 6-2 to the under last 8 games. And if Miami's not going to score the way that they've dedicated themselves to being the fastest tempo team in the league, if they're not going to score, then they're not going to win many, and that's where they're at right now. Like I said, it's a 2-6 ATS overall, 2-6 straight up. Of course, Toronto 0-8 straight up. So, like you said to start this, Ski, you got 2 teams. Neither one is playing well. Which one do we want? It's kind of like trying to pick the good garbage out of the garbage can. In these situations, if I'm forced to play, sometimes you know, we use the game gun to head. Who are you going to play? I think I would take points in that instance, just because neither team is playing really well and Miami isn't scoring enough. The 2 games that Miami has scored over their last 8, they got to 135 and 140. Even one of those they didn't cover as a favorite. They lost straight up to the Pistons. So I know Toronto's been bad, but my look at first when I saw the total come down this morning, I thought, man, why is that happening? But when you do a deep dive into what's been going on with the Miami Heat, you understand totally why this thing has been bet down from 237.5 to 234.5. And it's not just the Miami side, it's both sides. So maybe the under is the way to look here. A Miami team total might not be a bad look either, listed at 120.5. And like I say, 6 of their last 8, they haven't made it past 111. It's a lot of wiggle room there in a game like this. So we'll see how it goes, but I would have to lean that way. Didn't play. I don't think I will play Ski, but those are just thoughts. Maybe the team total under on the Miami side, maybe full game under.
All right, we're agreeing now. We think there should be less points in this game. Haven't quite pushed the button though. Next game, Mavs and Jazz. This is a game that I do like a little bit more than the first two. It opened up -3 for Dallas. Is down to -1. One shop even has them +1.5. So make sure you line shop depending on what you like. As far as the total, it did go up from 237.5 as high as 240.5. We're looking at out there. For Utah, Nurkic is out, Niang is out. For Dallas, no D'Lo, still no Kyrie. We know that. Both Gafford and Anthony Davis are questionable here. I feel like Gafford could be a little closer to playing than not because I feel like he's been listed as doubtful lately, but he is listed as questionable. AD, I don't think I saw him on this Andrew report earlier, so this is a new questionable tag, and it makes sense why the lines have moved the way they are. I personally got in on over 238. I feel like Utah Jazz game should be a base of like 240, especially at home. Like 230 something is too low. You're just playing a team that's gonna crawl. And lately, Dallas has better point guard play. They're fine playing with some pace, and they could have less rim protection. Even if one, if not both of those bigs miss for them. So I think you can still get over the current best number of 240. What do you think here, Vino?
Yeah, I was saying to you off air before we came on, I was ready to play Dallas until the Anthony Davis news came out. And whenever you go from, you know, playing to questionable in the middle of game day, it's not a good sign. So if he doesn't go ski, like you said, not only is it less rim protection, it's basically zero rim protection because Derek Lively's already out, I think, for the year. So no Lively, possibly no Gafford, possibly no Davis means Utah at home with a clear path to the rim. And plus, they've got guys that can score inside anyway, Larry Markin and others. So it changed my attention to possibly Utah team total here, which is 120 in a game that's totaled at 240 or 240 and a half. And we know the disparity between Utah home and road scoring. We know they score better at home. This is a team that, again, Dallas with no rim protection, potentially likely to give up over 120 points. Like the way they've been playing, though, I think we said it last week. One of us did, possibly you, that about Nemhard at point guard. It's been much better, much smoother for Dallas offensively. So maybe you could still get there with a total. But I'll just point out the Jazz, if you're betting side here, I'll point out that the Jazz are 1-7 straight up after a win. And their only 2-game winning streak this year came when they had 2 days rest against Brooklyn on no rest. So really the Jazz aren't a team that's going to string 2 games together. Dallas 5-1 last 6 ATS. All of those except for one have been with AD, so he's been a big boost. Their points per 100 possessions went up from 1.09 to 1.22 the last 6 games. So AD has contributed well. I think he's averaging over 20 points per game. Could hurt Dallas here a little bit if he doesn't go because they've been in a rhythm. I may turn my attention to Utah team total over here. To me, that seems like the safest way right now.
Yeah, AD may matter for the side, but as far as my bet, I mean, I personally don't care if he's in or out. I mean, if he's in, he might help him score a little bit more. If he's out, defense gets even worse.
Right.
So I'm good with that. Keep going down the list. We have Rockets and Nuggets. This one opened up -1.5. Still looks like that 1.5 out there. One shop actually has a pick 'em. Total open 232.5, and this is as high as 237.5. As far as the injury report, you have Eason questionable, still no DFS. We know Van Fleet is out. For Denver, Strother is questionable. Braun and Gordon remain out. Um, Vino, first things first, I think that, I mean, the first thing that came to my mind when I saw this game was over, and I didn't push the button, and I'm upset at myself because we've seen the line move 5 points, right? But the Nuggets, they can score the basketball and they can't get any stops, really. I mean, it's either you're going to keep up with them, or if your defense is good enough, you might be able to hold them down a little bit. But really, it's if you're going to be able to keep up with them offensively. That's really how I'm viewing Nuggets games right now. And I think the Rockets are a team that can, especially versus that poor defense. I feel like the Rockets been scoring anyway. So I do agree with that market move up. I'm unsure if I still want to play it at the current number just because of, how I always say I don't like to get the ass into the line. But what I can get there with is I like the Rocket side of this, Rob. I mean, you're gonna have the better defense. You should have the better rebounding team here. Um, and this I just feel like the Rockets team has been playing better basketball in general. That's when I think about them. So I trust them more right now. I like the Rockets side of this one. What do you think here, Vino? Rockets over, or can you talk me off?
Well, I don't know that I could talk you off because remember the other day when we had the Nuggets game on Friday, I think it was Jamal Murray who said they're just quicker as a team, faster pace without Braun and Gordon in the lineup. Um, and it showed. Friday night, I think I had their team total over. It was a high number, 124.5 against the Kings,
It's
but
the
they got to
Kings.
136.
Yep.
Beat them pretty good. So you just go through their results and you can see Jamal Murray's just telling you that we're just faster. Nuggets 135, 134, 136 in 3 of their last 4. If I backtrack a little further, 130 and 136. So 130 or better in 6 of their last. They're 5 of their last 7. Want to get that right. So total, I could plainly see here. If I go to side, I think you might get a little Houston revenge. Denver went into Houston and won that game. I remember you and I talked about that one. I think we were leaning Houston that night just because Denver very lackadaisical on defense. But Denver did go, they weren't playing with any real purpose at the time, but they came in there that night, 2.5-point dog, win 112-109. Houston may be looking for some payback here. I would probably think that they are, which would lead me to the Houston side. And just to wrap it up, I'll connect that to your point. If you're going to beat the Nuggets, you're going to outscore them. So if I like Houston to beat the Nuggets, I have to like over in this case. We don't like to, give away the closing line value, but I still think in this instance you may get there with a total in this game. But Houston would be the side I'd look at. I just think that it was meaningful that night. And it's not that long ago. I'm looking at the date right here, the 21st of November. So again, about 3 weeks ago, still fresh in their mind. Well-rested Houston team. For what it's worth, Denver games now 6, 8, 10-2 to the over in their last 12. And they've been going way over, not just a little over. They've been going way over. So little lean to Houston, little lean towards over.
All right, I'm gonna just talk it out a little bit more. I'll say that, or try to poke a hole in it, or maybe just both. I'm looking at the Nuggets schedule here. I mean, Kings, Hornets, Hawks, Pacers, Mavericks, who've had no rim protection, Suns, Spurs, who were. I mean, they should be able to score on those teams, right? I mean, the Rockets defense is supposed to be a lot better than all of those teams that they faced. That would be the one thing that I would say against that. How well the Nuggets have been scoring lately. But other than that, I still can't say I would play it under.
Yeah, the other thing that would poke against that, Skee, would just be the final score that night in Houston. Denver won a pretty low scoring game, 112-109. Where did that come from? Only allowing 109 on the Nuggets side when Houston was healthy and the Nuggets. That result at that time honestly made me believe that there's a switch that Denver, like many other NBA teams, flip. We don't care, we don't care, we don't care. Hey, it's Houston, we care. Let's play defense one night out of 82. This is the one. So you never know how that stuff is going to go. But Houston didn't score on them that night either. It's kind of a back and forth where that's concerned.
All right, we'll keep going down the list to the Grizzlies and the Clippers, the last NBA game on the slate for tonight. Opened up -4 for the Clippers. It says looks like 4.5 right now. Total came down slightly from 229.5. Looks like it's 228.5 everywhere. As far as the injury report, Harden is questionable. Batum is questionable. Um, for Memphis, the same guys are out, and Edie continues to be out as well. Veno, I feel like in this one, I mean, you got the Clippers, but they got 6 wins, 6-19 so far. Versus the Grizzlies, 11-14, and the Clippers are favored by 4.5 here. I just feel like this line screams Clippers to me. Um, the Clippers, I feel like they've been starting to play a little bit better. I would want James Harden in. The questionable tag, I don't know where that came from, but I would expect him to play after a few days off. For the Grizzlies, they just have not been good without Zach Edey. They I think are they're 4-11 or 3-11, something like that. 3-11 ATS it is. 4-10 straight up, I think it was. Without Zach Edey so far this season. Like this stretch of good games they were playing was when he came back from injury. And then just on top of that, you know, I want Ja to play good and be good, but he's not doing it right now. And I think he's also messing up the flow. So combination of those two things makes me think it should be time to fade this Grizzlies team. I mean, you see Zach Edey's out, they lose to the Jazz. I think the for one night we take the tennis balls and walkers and we go ahead and head to bingo night, Rob Veno. We're gonna take the Clippers minus in this one tonight. What you think?
Bingo night is fantastic. Yeah, a couple of things. With Zach Edey, of course, it's a little easier around the rim. Zubats, if anybody's playing props, perhaps his rebounds look good tonight. But you're right. You want to have James Harden. I can't get beyond the fact that I know Memphis will play with pace now that Ja's back, and it's going to force LA to run. I thought that the total in this game probably is too low. And Memphis has scored 119 plus in 3 of the last 4. And the game where Ja played the other night was a real high scoring game. Memphis doesn't play a lot of defense. So the Clippers should be able to score here. And I just feel like Memphis playing the way that they play, tempo wise, will score on LA as well. So for me, I think it's going to be an over. I don't want to leave either side out of the equation unless Harden isn't involved. James Harden doesn't play, then all bets are off. I think maybe I would, and in that case, I think I would just go to Memphis team total, win or lose. Memphis over 114.5 would make sense to me. 112.5, excuse me. And even makes a little sense right now, even if James Harden plays. Memphis over 112.5 may not win the game, but I think they'll get to 113.
All right. Good stuff from Rob Vino. Shout out to Razor in the chat, dropping his gambler's first glance for everybody. Love to see it as well, because I agree. All right, Vino, that's the NBA card. We'll talk a little bit of Monday Night Football. We have the Dolphins and the Steelers, and opened up 3, hasn't moved. Total open 42, still looks like 42. Um, I'll tell you my thoughts on this game. I haven't played it yet, but I do have thoughts. My thoughts are, damn, Miami's won 4 in a row. Miami's not dead yet. I thought Miami was dead a long time ago. I had to look. I'm like, Miami still has a chance. They're not out of it yet. The Steelers are just 7-6. So this is a really big, important game. I do look at who Miami's played lately. And again, I looked at this last night, I think it was. So I don't have anything in front of me. But I feel like the schedule was a lot easier than the one that Pittsburgh has been playing lately. At the same time, so why I'm saying that is because I think Miami's defense early in the year was garbage, but lately the defense has looked a little bit better. At least the pass defense. I feel like for the Steelers, I don't trust their defense at all. Pass defense, run defense, it don't matter. I don't trust them to stop anybody. And their running back is questionable now, so they might not be able to take advantage of a weak Dolphins run defense. It's going to be just pass, 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 pass. And I don't think that's the recipe for success. As long as Achan is playing, I feel like the Dolphins can score. Um, I'm leaning towards the Dolphins here. The total, I'm a little bit iffy, but maybe I trust the Dolphins side more than I trust Pittsburgh side. What do you think here, Rob?
Wow, I thought you might come at me with Pittsburgh here. I'm in agreement with you. I'm going to add to your point. The Pittsburgh defense, they're 7-6 somehow, some way, but it's got nothing to do with their defense. It's like the 5th worst in total yards per game allowed in the league. They don't stop the run, they don't stop the pass, and they don't have TJ Watt tonight. TJ Watt, they found that hole in his lung. He had surgery this week, won't be involved. That saves Tua's, I'll call it, rear end a little bit, right? No blindside pressure from TJ Watt. And Devon Achane, that's the reason why. And the schedule, you're right. Miami's schedule has been fairly soft as of late. But all that being said, they've started to develop a running game with Achane, and he's a breakaway home run threat every time he touches the ball. And if they can run it a little against a Steelers defense that gives up 125 a game on the ground with Watt, then, without him, and I know he's mostly known for pass pressure, but still, replacing him, Pittsburgh doesn't have the personnel to do so fully. If it was, the main argument I hear all the time, well, the Dolphins can't win in cold weather. Well, there's got to be a time where the Dolphins win something in cold weather. I'm not a big Tua fan. don't always trust him. I'll probably hold my breath every time he drops back to pass, but I'm with you. I thought their team total was a little light in this game, um, despite the cold weather. I think if Achane can run it a little, they get that established. No Watt coming at Tua off the edge. He probably does complete some balls tonight, and they've got guys on the receiver in the receiving core that can go the distance. So for me, it's a look at the Miami Dolphins team total toward the over. I think it's probably the best way to go.
19.5 is what I'm looking at here. And it seems very doable. I mean, if I'm liking Miami and I'm liking over, or I didn't say I was liking over, but I do think I said I trust Miami to score. I don't trust Pittsburgh's defense. That does seem like the play. Maybe I'll go. I mean, I like Miami. I like both. Maybe I have to double up here. Team total and Miami on the spread. Couple things from the comment section. I mean, you did mention, you know, also how Tua hasn't been good in the cold. He's talking about Steelers blitz rate, still top 5 in the league. It's gonna take. I mean, they're gonna take a hit without TJ Watt. J Dog likes the over in this game. Razor says Steelers 1-11 without TJ. Tua, like you mentioned, he's like, phew. He's like,
Who's happier than him, right?
yeah, Tua, he's loving that. So yeah, I think that could be a double up spot. I mean, yeah, I feel like the Steelers give up 20 points in their sleep. I'm just gonna glance. Let me see if I can pull
I'm
them
doing
up
it
here.
for you.
Yeah, I feel like they give up 20 every week almost.
Yeah,
I mean, I could.
7 of their last 8 games over 20.
Yeah,
Only one time that they didn't, and that was against Cincinnati without Joe Burrow, 34-12. Otherwise, it's almost automatic.
I like that. I like that, Rob Veno. All right, might have. I'm gonna have to open up my wallet, man. But we can close the
Should we
show
stop the
down.
show?
No, we can shut it down because we went through all the games already. So, but we know we like to make money on this show. We don't just like to talk. All right, Vino. Before I put the best bet stuff up, let's see what can I go through here. We still have the full court all access pass, right? 3 days of NBA and college basketball, only $49. If you want to do the longer term, you can get $500 off a 1 year pass. Comes out to just $125 a month. And for example, if you were to get a 1 year pass for Rob Vino, you would then get a 25% bonus coupon. You could use it on something that I have and come check out. How Skee is handicapping. All right, Vino. Now we'll move it over to best bets. I'll ask you if there's anything else you would like to promote. And if you have a best bet for the show, we would love to hear it. If you don't, it's all good.
Yeah, real quick again, and I know we mostly do basketball on this show. I will promote just because bowl season is heating up. It started on Saturday. We did have a winner in that Washington Boise State game. Bowl package is up and available. I think WagerTalk reduced it by like $180 for the package, all the way through the national championship. 41 or 42 games still left in bowl season. So if you're interested, you can purchase a reduced price bowl package at wagertalk.com. Man, I've done this more often than not lately, so I won't do it again. I'm going to say for the NBA purposes, I know I'm going to play Memphis over 112.5. So I'll use that as a best bet here. It will be my only client play today coming from the NBA. Didn't especially care for the card other than Dallas. But Memphis for over 112.5, I will use for clients. So I'll leave that here as a best bet for the show. And as you could tell by the way we were talking out the Monday Night Football game, I do like that Miami side as well. But best bet here for NBA purposes, Memphis team total over 112.5.
Good stuff, Ravino. I'll remind everybody, stuff has been going pretty good for me lately. So I know NFL, I've hit 15 of the last 20, I think that is. So NFL's been pretty nice lately. Basketball has also been good. I think, what is it, 66 and 38 run I'm on in both between college and NBA. So, yeah, it's a good time to be on board. I have made 3 NBA plays tonight, but for a best bet for the show, I'm gonna go with I'm gonna stand up straight, you know. And I mean, I'm opening up my wallet, like I said, and I'm going with the Dolphins team total over 19 and a half. It makes a lot of sense. You talked it out. No TJ Watt chasing Tua around. A-Chan should be able to run all over that Pittsburgh defense. Dolphins to get to 20. That's the play for tonight. That's the best bet. So Vino, um, appreciate you breaking down these games with me. Definitely helps my process. I'm sure it helps everybody else out there as well. Um, Chat, we appreciate all you guys. You guys are, share a lot of great information, great people, and just great vibes. So what you guys bring to the show is much appreciated as well. We'll be back again tomorrow. We do have just the NBA Cup game, right? So it'll be short and sweet, but it will be a good game. Best of luck on all your action tonight, and we will catch you all then.